Okay.
Welcome to Parrot's Literary Corner. In today's show, we have a very unique artist. We've been having poets only, but this time around, we've decided to go to the home of hip hop. And those who have got the experience when it started in the past, you know, who had got the direct taste of hip hop, the ones we'll be having dealings with today. And one of them, anyway, will be serving as the voice of hip hop on the show today. That is KBorn Rivers. KBorn, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today, you know, to come and build with y'all. It's such a positive thing and break down hip hop and the aspects of it. And also, you know, my record that was Peace. So that's gonna be deep.
I remain myself, Mutiu Olawuyi, and as usual, I have my co-host with me, Dustin Pickering. Dustin, please say hi to our viewers at home.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the program. I hope you've been keeping up. Subscribe to the channel.
Thank you. So before we go deeply into the main part of the show, it will be ideal you have a little bit taste of our guest today. What does he have to offer us? Why do we even invite him if he's not really into hip hop? So I need you to have a bit taste of him. And from the content of what we're going to display here, you have a little bit information about him before he now tells us a little bit more about himself by the time we get deeply into the show. So please enjoy this very wonderful track titled "Was Peace" by KBorn Rivers.
Peace. Peace is when you're not afraid to walk down the street. Peace is when you're not have a beat. With the crew. Yo, what's peace? Peace is when you're not afraid to walk down the street. I go from DC to Brownsville to South Carolina, Texas, know my name. Ohio to Cali, and back to New York, they know once the laws speak that the flames start to spark. Peace, love and happiness, while I hate to sit on the sideline, getting pissed. I still go state to state, but no more pushing weight. I push opportunities with my cousin hoping fate was peace. Peace is when you're not afraid to walk down the street. Peace is when you don't need a gun. I see you. All I need is love for you and the fruit. Yo, what's peace? Peace is when you're not afraid to walk through the street. Peace is when you don't need a gun. I see you. All I get is love for you. Yo, we need to stop the gender destruction and mass incarceration. Slavery, homeless, and prostitution, toxic pollution that's killing us. 1 out of 5 is suffering from mental health illness is bad. That's a nation don't swallow the pill, sonny. Bernie mad off, so the whole country money they can bail out the bankers. I can't help the people. I wonder why the people is always hurting. The people got wicked politicians that's always up in the kitchen, always doing the talking but never doing the listening. That's why I make it my mission to represent peace. And my man EM hit me with this hot beat. What's peace? Peace is when you're not afraid to walk down the street. Peace is when you don't need a gun to have a beat. Peace is when I see you.
Yeah, Wars Peace. Thank you so much, KBorn. I think we've got a little bit taste of this wonderful guest we have on the show today. So over to you, Dustin. Please, you can roll on with the hip hop and the home of hip hop in the United States.
I'm really excited about this discussion. We noticed that if you watch the video, there's some banners and some posters and whatnot for I Am My Community, which is your organization. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how hip hop plays into that?
Well, you know, me born and raised in the Bronx, 52 years, I started my program called I Am My Community. And, you know, we promote public safety through mental health awareness classes, parenthood classes. Then we got an anti-violence unit, which, you know, we don't have nothing to do with the police, but if somebody gets shot, killed, or harmed in our community, we use our street credibility to find out what happened, why, to who, and try to bring both sides together so there don't be no type of further retaliation. And for me, you know, being born and raised in the Bronx and going through a lot of trials and tribulations myself before I started my program, you know, and give me a more insight of what's going on and dealing with not as someone on the outside looking in, but rather someone who already been through a lot of the trials and tribulations, you know, like being homeless, like being incarcerated, being in gangs, you know, selling drugs, traveling around, you know, just doing a whole bunch of negative stuff until there come a time where you have to change things around and start building things back up. So that's why, you know, like one of my mottos that I always say, you know, one of my main slogans is that it's never too late to change for the better.
Absolutely, that's a very positive message. And so my understanding, and for those who are not as familiar with hip hop and hip hop culture, what are some elements to the music and to the fashion and culture of hip hop that people might take interest in?
Well, you know, right now, as you see a lot of the foolishness that's going on in the killing and things that's going on within the industry, and I want to separate that, let everybody know that's not hip hop. That's rap music. You know, rap music where they talking about drugs and killing and pills and all of that. That's not hip hop. Hip hop is when, you know, you're dealing with party, family, peace, and we dealing with art. You know what I'm saying? The elements of hip hop. You know, you got a rapper, you got a DJ, you got the graffiti artists, you got the break dancers, you know, you got the B-boys, the B-girls. You know, it go all the way down to the record carriers, to the people that that hook up the speakers, the people that make the big speakers. You know, that's all hip hop. And when you just take out one element of it and just you know, when you see most of them guys that's running around now and getting in all them trials and tribulations and talk about all them pills and killing and all that, you don't even see a DJ. You just see a rapper. So
Right.
you know, that's what they are. You know, that's what they are. They're rappers. You know hip hop when you see hip hop. You know.
Excellent. So you also mentioned you're an anti-gun activist, and that sort of plays into hip hop culture. And so when did you decide that this is something you wanted to dedicate your life to?
Well, you know, like I said, me myself, I've been in a lot of things. You know, I grew up in the Bronx and all around too. So like you hear my record when I said I go from DC to Brownsville, to Baltimore, to Maine, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas know my name. You know, and that's what I used to be traveling around getting in a whole bunch of trials and tribulations. But then you see right now, and I said, you know, I still go state to state, but no more pushing weight. I push opportunities, you know what I'm saying, to my peoples. So I go back to the same places that, you know, I was a part of tearing it down and destroying it and try to rebuild it and bring it back up, you know. And I just thank God that I did got a chance. You know, as people say, it's rather late than never. I'm glad that it wasn't never on my behalf. And it's just that when I was out going through my trials and tribulations and out in the street, I got arrested over 77 times. And then one day, one of my friends called me and he offered me a job. He told me to go do an interview with Bronx Rise Against Gun Violence. So I started working with that, which is a part of Curb Violence. I worked with them for about a good 18 months. And then me being from the Bronx, I know that there's more problems in the Bronx and, you know, in life period than just guns. And I seen a lot of my friends coming up to me and they had like court problems they had homeless problems. They had problems with HRA. They had custody battles, you know, divorce battles. You know, they didn't have nothing to do with firearms or guns. So I couldn't really help them. So I had to expand myself. So I said, you know, I'm gonna have to leave this job alone. And I moved on and started IAMC community. So that way I could be able to reach out and I could help more people. You know, I could go inside the juvenile system, help the kids. I could deal with mental health illnesses, mental health awareness. I could branch out, could network and do a whole bunch of things. So that's why I made it IAMC community.
It's a very, very inspiring story. I hope people listening and watching are inspired by this. And so you also are a mental health advocate. How receptive is the community at large out there to listening to people discuss mental health, and how does awareness of mental health in the community affect the mentally ill themselves?
Well, you know, when you're dealing with mental health awareness, a lot of people want to ignore it. You know, it starts in the households. You know, I see like, you know, especially with the Black and brown families, we like to ignore it. Instead of going to get our kids help, we get them a little name. I like to, when you're dealing with a lot of Latin families, instead of going to get their kid help, and they don't want to, the embarrassment, oh, my kid is retarded. They put that stigma on them, that we need to break and automatically think because they're dealing with a mental health illness that they're retarded, and then the parent get embarrassed. So instead of going to get the kid help, they give them a fancy name like, oh, this little loco or this little loca. And then, and it happens inside the Black families too. We give them a little name, oh, this crazy Jimmy, or that's crazy or Susie. But then 20 years later, when they do something that's outrageous, we all sit there and look at each other and go, I don't know how they did that. I can't believe it. What you mean you can't believe it? You was running around calling a little loca, a little loco, a little crazy Jimmy their whole life. So, this should have been something that you expected. So we got to reach out more and go get help for our kids and for, our family. Then you got a lot of immigrants that's scared to go get help because they feel that if they go get their family help or seek help for themselves, that they may start getting questioned. And, their paperwork may not be right. The next thing you know, they getting deported and this, that, and the third. Then you have people like that's like the politicians who just totally ignore it 100%. They put zero effort into helping. From the mayor on down, they put zero help to helping the mentally ill. The mayor's wife had an organization called Thrive NYC, who had $950 million. I went down to the mayor's office 5 times, begging for help for my organization, my community, because where I'm from, my area is like, we have a very, very high mental illness rate over there. So, and a lot of the families come to me because, I got the program, my community. And I was running down to the mayor's office and, they beating around the bush. They told me to do some courses. I did the courses. They told me to hold the first aid mental health course inside my office so I could get people to come. I got 20 people to come. They all got certificates. I still didn't receive no help. But in the middle of this time where I'm not receiving no help, one guy in my community named Anthony Smith went up inside the police car and killed the cop. I went back down there still asking for help. I ain't get no help. Next thing you know, a guy from around my block named Jose stole an ETM truck, ran the lady over, killed her. She had 5 kids. The lady that was inside, the cop had 5 kids. That's 10 kids. Now I go back down there. I'm still begging for help. They're ignoring it. Another kid around my way, Jordan, he beats up the cab driver. He has a mental problem. The cab driver died. The cab driver has 7 kids. Now we have 17 kids that got a single parent because they're ignoring it. It continues on. Another kid, Kevin, around my way. I'm going for help, asking for help for them. I need help, man. Help me get a storefront. Help me do something. These people will come and speak to me. They feel comfortable with me. I know them for years. They ignored him. He went down to 167th Street, the Grand Concourse, asked somebody for $1. They didn't give him $1. He pushed the Asian man on the train. That guy had 2 kids. So we talking about 19 kids walking around with one parent because they were totally ignored by the people that has the power to help them. And also took the oath to help them and also get a paycheck for helping them.
Right. So, it just escalate. Problems escalate. Starts with the very problem that could be contained and it just escalates.
Yeah, and it just escalated from, and all these people, you figure from a cab driver to an innocent man to an ETM worker, all the way to a letter to the police, and to the police officer got killed. So, it's
right. It's very unfortunate.
It's a continuing cycle, and until we come out and do outreach work and get the big organizations and the politicians, especially these hospitals, I blame a lot of that on the hospitals because where's these people born at? Everybody's born somewhere. So if you're born inside the hospital and you're still going to these clinics, and these clinics are still getting funding and allegedly supposed to be still, taking care of you and doing such things. So why none of these clinics and none of these big hospitals don't have no outreach work dealing with the mentally ill?
You think that the hip hop music could help people also in dealing with these kind of crises? And
I mean, yeah, you see when the old saying when we was young, what they say, music calm a savage beast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So music got a way where it calms people down. People feel comfortable. I know some people that you got a lot of people that got mental health. Look at Kanye West. You know, he's dealing with I'm being bipolar and certain things, but he's a genius, a musical genius. And it goes on down, you know, because they focus on something. You know, music is soothing. You know, it gives you something to focus on. But as we as a whole, we got to start getting things like this. You know, we had one politician, Fernando Cabrera. He had put up some money for a recording studio at one time, you know, which was, you know, I blessed him for that and I thank him for that. But it never got done. You know, the equipment got bought, but the organization that had it, they never made use of it, you know. But in the meantime, while we're not making use of this, the kids are dying on the street every day. That could be sitting inside these studios making music. That could be sitting inside these studios and you using the music to have class. Right. You're attracting them there through the music, but at the same time, you're educating them. At the same time, you're showing them how to get along. You're showing them how to work as a team. You're showing them how to make something from nothing that you just walked in the studio, all you had was a beat. You had some rhymes. He had a guitar. She had a piano. And now we put all this together like a gumbo soup. And now it's sounding excellent, you know?
Right.
So it's giving you a chance to let you see what you could do, what you could achieve, what you could accomplish.
The collaboration and sort of creates bonds between people. Have you had any really fun and enjoyable experiences collaborating with any particular artist out there yourself?
Oh yeah, you know, like me, I deal with a lot of artists, man. I like to deal with the kids. Like right now, we're doing a video, What's Peace Over? And we got like a group called Stan NYC, you know, they from the Bronx, they're a dance group, they're gonna be in it. We got another artist called Little Lex, and she got a little record about coronavirus and all that. She about 11. And the other kids, Stan, is like high school, junior high school kids. She's gonna be in it. Then it's an old school rapper from back in the day. She ain't old school. I just say old school because, you know, she was from that era called MC Heaven. And she got all of her little kids, you know, but 3 or 4 of them. And they gonna have their little parts. And we're gonna do the whole What's Peace Over and let it come out in a different angle, you know, let the kids, for the kids, to the kids. So, you know, you gotta, you know, try to like give a kid something else to do other than trying to go outside and join the gang. Other than going outside and trying to be with the drug dealers, ever going outside and getting yourself into something that you don't know, nothing that you're getting yourself into. You know, it takes 2 seconds to get you. 2 seconds could get you in a situation that a lifetime couldn't get you out of.
I have a question for you. Before we go, we're going to go for a break. But before we go for a break, I want you to have this question at the back of your mind. Why do people say that Bronx is the home of hip hop? Before you answer that, I want us to go for a break. After we come back, you'll be responding to that question. Let's enjoy What's Peace from KBorn.
We got a new president who just been elected. Some will respect it, others will reject it. For me, I use my common sense, I'm cool and selective. In 1986, I made my first record. I made Big Green Party, I made Big Democrat, I made Big Republican. But why would the fuck you ask? It's my voice, my choice. I do what I want to do. I'm from the land of the free. My flag's red, white, and blue. Michigan was brown, Chicago's a good town. Local and crap in every city, in every town. We need to get together. We need to lay it down. We need to get together. We need to do it now. But way in the dirty, the heat and the boogie down. We need to get together. We need to do it now. But way in the dirty, the heat and the boogie down. We need to get together and we need to do it now. Peace. Peace is when you're not afraid to walk down the street. Peace is when you don't need a gun to have a beat. Peace is when I see you. All I get is love for you and the crew. Yo, what's peace? Peace is when you're not afraid to walk down the street. Peace is when you don't need a gun to have a beat. Peace is when I see you. All I get is love from you and the crew. Yo, what's peace? Peace is when you're not afraid to walk down the street. Peace is when you don't need a gun to have a beat. Peace is when I see you. All I get is love from you and the crew. Yo, what's peace? Peace is when you're not afraid to walk down the street. Peace is when you don't need a gun to have a beat. Peace is when I see you. All I get is love from you and the crew. Yo.
Yeah, was peace. All right, I
Yeah.
think you can respond to that question now.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the reason why we call the Bronx the home of hip hop, because, you know, this is where it started at. The Bronx, but back in the days to right now, we multicultural. So you come to the Bronx, you see a little bit of everybody, you know. We don't, like, you may go to Harlem and you got the El Barrio, that's the Spanish part. You got Chinatown. You got Washington Heights, where you know, Dominicans be at. You got Harlem, where the Black people be at. And, you know, that's everywhere. You go down to Queens, they section off like that too. But when you come down to the Bronx, we all just live together, you know. We just multicultural like that, you know, where somebody in the Bronx will come out. Like right now, you walk down the block with me and you will see an Irish person walk up to me and be like, yo, this is my brother. And me, yo, this is my brother. You'll see a Spanish person walk up to me and be like, yo, it's my brother. A lady will come out the window, she'll be Jamaican and be like, hey, that's my grandson, how you doing? Hey. And just the way we was raised and just the way that, you know, we came up since little kids. Like we all was in each other's house. We all did this, and that family bond is like that. And she mean it too. When we looked out the window, but you know, that's my brother, man. And they be like, yo, that's your brother right there? Damn, he look like Italian or something. You know what I'm saying? But that, you know, the bond is right there.
Right.
Like, you know, that's how close we actually are. And from us being like that, we was able to put more things into as working as a team. So you had some brothers DJing. You had some brothers, some people over here doing graffiti. Some people over here breakdancing. Some people over here doing electric boogie. Some people over here rapping, you know, and from us putting all that style together, the world started getting on to it and other people started duplicating it and started doing it in different boroughs. And it was a New York thing at first. Then it started going down, like, you know, a little bit to down south and wasn't going too far to get to Jersey, Connecticut, then bounce back to New York, and everybody, you know, it was New York music. It was Bronx music at first, you know, and then all the way to today. But all the way to today, when you really look at it, certain places you may go to LA. LA got a strong hip hop feel, but they got a lot of Bronx people that went out there too, you know, and but it's not too many places that got a whole hip hop feel. When you could go through, I'm not talking about gang graffiti, I'm talking about real graffiti that's on the wall, you know, art, like, you know, you've got a DJ over here. Most groups don't even have a DJ. You know, when you see a group in the Bronx, majority of the time they got a DJ, you know, and we just put all that Bronx life together and made a gumbo soup out of it. And now, you know, the whole world be doing it now, and the whole world be following it, but they can follow it, but they cannot do it like the Bronx. Nobody.
What's it like being part of such a big thing that, you know, like when you started off in the initial phase of hip hop and now you're looking back and, you know, seeing that something you were part of originally is such a big thing now. How does that feel?
It feels good, you know, it feels good, especially when you come from, when we come out, we first was making records, like I said, probably like only 3 people on the block was into it. Everybody else was playing house music, playing, you know, disco, and they ain't want no parts of it. You couldn't play it in the house. As soon as you put it on in the house, your mom's be like, if you don't turn that junk off and get up out of here with that, you know what I'm saying? So you wasn't really getting nowhere with it, man. You know, I remember going to shows and just us, the people who you came with was the ones who was rooting for you. Everybody else was like, man, get them dudes out of here, man, you know? So now to see that it's so accepted and everybody like it, but we still got to keep it positive, because if you don't keep it positive, it's going to be over. You know, just like a lot of other music was here and it was popular and everybody thought it was going to stay here, but people was doing the wrong thing and the music fade out. You know, look at rock and roll. Rock and roll was it. Till they started putting all the drugs and all this and all that, and then all the negative stigma went with it, and you don't even hear about it no more.
What are some of the background influences for hip hop musically?
Well, you know, the background influence is like a lot of like we got like the rhythm is like a lot of Latin rhythm, a lot of like African vibes. We got a lot of Cuban type vibes, you know. It's really the rhythm and the bounce that's in it. And then now, you know, then nowadays is like, and before, it's really how you create it, how original you are. Because you really could take anything. And I was just explaining that we was in the studio the other day and they was throwing on different beats and I was showing them that I could rhyme on any beat. Don't matter what beat you throw on, it could be any beat, I could rhyme to it. you know, because I got my rhythm, I got my flow. So
Right.
it don't matter whatever the beat coming, I'm gonna stay with my 1-2, and I'm gonna get it to blend, you know, and that's hip hop, man. You know, it's the originality of it, and the way somebody could just take a can of paint and just sit right here, 2 cans of paint, and sit right here and use their finger and tear up paper and dip the paper and use their nails, and you looking to be a masterpiece when he finished or she finished, you know. Same thing when somebody come out with a record, 2 records, and put and come up with an idea. I'm gonna take these 2 records, I'm gonna go cut a cardboard off a piece from the cereal box to put it under the record to make the record slide backwards. And then I'm gonna start repeating this record and scratching it and going. That's like, you know, the creativity there is outrageous. You know, so
Wow.
you know, it's basically
Right.
dealing with a lot of creativity. Even right now, when you listen to Wish Peace and you're going through all the people with the presidency, and they go, you know, we got a new president who just been elected. Some will accept it, others will reject it. You know, that's how it is. It's plain as day. Some people gonna accept it, some people gonna reject it. That's life.
Right. How could a hip hop artist or any artist in this day and age musically, we have internet where a lot of, you know, downloading is going on and it's hard to sell. I mean, how could you think you could still make a living doing that, or musics in general? You know, is there a way to face that challenge that you find productive?
Yeah, well, I made my first record in 1986. We still do shows to it today. It's still played on the radio. I still do interviews and things about it. So if you out here and you trying to sound like Jay-Z and you trying to sound like Nas, who need you when I could just go get Jay-Z or go get Nas? So you ain't gonna last that long, or you may not last at all. But if you original and you, then you original. You. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what hip hop is about. You're trying to be as original as you could be. Like Slick Rick come on right now. Slick Rick is Slick Rick. That's it. It ain't 2 Slick Ricks. It ain't 3 Slick Ricks. It's 1 Slick Rick. You know, it's a million rappers, but it's 1 Slick Rick. You know, it's a million rappers, but it's 1 Melly Mel. It's a million rappers, but it's 1 Rakim. It's a million rappers, but it's 1 Biz Markie. Biz Markie come, oh, that's Biz Markie. Everybody know it is. It's a million rappers, it's 1 Busta Rhyme. They go Busta Bust. Busta, you already know as soon as he comes, from his style, his rhymes, his flow, his energy, he original. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you really want to do. You want to be original. And nowadays, a lot of these rappers they just duplicates and they try to sound like the next person. So you're not gonna get that far. You may get a little buzz with your record, but then it's not gonna go nowhere, because when people, don't forget, as time go, and now you at an old school party, and you at a party and they playing old school records, they only gonna play the original record that sound like that. You know, and that record only gonna get like a little couple of 30 seconds or something. They're not playing the 12th record that sound like that record. You could forget it. You know, they're gonna play the hottest record that sound with that groove, the first record that sound with that groove, and keep it moving. So, you know, the whole thing is about really trying to be creative, original, you know, write your own material.
Right.
And try to speak about things that's actually happening every day, you know, things that people was living through. When Melly Mel and Flash them came out with White Lines, you know, that was at the era where cocaine people was using all over the world. It was drugs everywhere. Studio 54 was out, and when they came out with the record, people didn't really know what they meant. But then as it went on and people saw white lines, a vision, dream, or passion going through my mind. And all the while, I think of you. You know what I'm saying? The lyrics and the vision, you can see it, you can feel it. You know, everything is right there. And that's what really hip hop is.
Right.
You know, DMX can come in here right now and say around and you feel it, you see it. And he just sitting right here. You painting a picture for somebody.
So who, you know, in your career, what kind of artists have you worked with that you really enjoyed working with, you know, in terms of like, you know, creating music, and how has that led you forward?
Well, you know, I started out with we the first ones who was with Teddy Riley with the New Jack Swing. So we started a whole era of hip hop and a whole style that a lot of other people followed after us. But you know, we used to have great sessions, man, with the Brand Nubians. That was when I just loved it when we used to get together. Because, you know, it was only me and my partners, two of us. It was like four of them. So we get to really go off. We can run for a while, you know. So, y'all had some legendary battles with Heavy D up in the house, you know. We used to go at it on the mic. A lot of Cool Ron, Assassin. And I'm just a guy that, you know, I King Charlie Prince, I just did a record with them. It's like called By All Means Necessary. It's like another version of Self-Destruction. We got about 10 people on there, Funk Master Wiz and all them. That was nice. I worked with DJ Sammy B from the Jungle Brothers, Bush Camp Click. You know, so I like collaborating with other people.
Right. It's one of the themes I've seen in a lot of these interviews is how people learn to collaborate. It just kind of happens. It spontaneously happens in a lot of these you know, cultural interactions, and they're really enjoyable. Has that been your experience, that it was sort of a spontaneous thing, you know, that just sort of emerged out of, you know, it sounds like, you know, in the Bronx, the hip hop just sort of kind of happened, you know, like people were just enjoying themselves, and it just pulled out a whole new culture that spread worldwide.
Yeah, because like one of the nicest records that I like that I made is with a guy called Ian Black. And when I went to go make it, like you said, I didn't go up there to make no record with Ian Black. My one of my friends, he's down with a group called NYG's named Panchy. He's supposed to have been on the track making a record with them. And we was up there, we kept waiting for him. And he was like, yo, I'm coming, man, I'm coming. And for one thing or another, you know, one reason or another, it took him a long time to come. So after about an hour, me and Ian Black just kept looking at each other. He playing the music. I'm looking like, man, come on, man, me and you do a track. And we did the track together. And when they put that CD out, that was the hottest track on the CD. And it was spontaneous like that. You know, so many people in the Bronx, like you said, got some type of talent. They know how to do something. You know, you got, you know how to draw? No, but I know how to rap. Oh, word? Oh, you don't know how to rap? I know how to DJ. Oh, you know, but they know how to do something involved in hip hop, you know? And it'd be surprising because even the girls, it'd be people that you wouldn't even believe it. They know how to do it too. You know what I'm saying? They got their skill or their style too. Like, yeah, I got my little joint. So, you know,
Keeping people positive and doing things that are fun and enjoyable and expressive, instead of going out and, you know, doing self-destructive actions like drugs or, you know, shooting somebody, you know. So, I mean,
Before
this
you
is
ask
definitely been,
any
like
question, I actually want to ask him another question here. It's just a very practical one. As if we truly believe that Bronx is the home of hip hop, I want you to show to our viewers, just give us a freestyle within maybe 30 seconds or 40 seconds or maximum of 1 minute. Freestyle.
Oh boy,
whatever comes to your mind now, flow with it. Let's hear it.
All right. Yeah. You know, I don't really do too many freestyles, but, you know, I drop a rhyme, go for plenty miles. Sometimes we got to think, you know, I'm from the Bronx, but to go all the way out to Africa to the Niles. You know, we try to think deep, run through the streets. Some brothers can't think that hard, so they need to sit down. Yo, let me get it again. Let me go again on that one. Let me go again on that one. Yeah, man. You know, a lot of brothers be freestyling. I just be rhyming. I like to get things, you know, but I like to, you know, go off the head sometime, man. But, you know, I just got to be in the mood for it.
right.
But we from the boogie down Bronx, man. So, you know, things always going through. Somebody always rhyming. We just had, we was in the studio the other day. I got like 3 brothers together. We did a nice track called We Run New York. So that was dope, you know.
Wow.
Okay,
So,
can you give us maybe from your previous ones that you have or some of the ones you've composed earlier? Just give us a little bit taste of what you have ready.
I got so many damn rhymes, man. I got a million rhymes in this joint. I'll give you one. Yeah, I'll kick one real quick. I got a million rhymes in here. All right, I'll kick one real quick. Let me kick the classic joint. Sorry, old timers. It's time to make way for the Lord KBorn and his man L.A. The Lord KBorn wishes me on the mic, indicate every lyric that is written is right. Coming straight from the head to control this nation. The classical to his rap's new generation. Developing skills, inventing concepts, releasing my talent and set tap the set. Achieving and believing that this style will work with T-Aura on the beats. We can't get jerked. See, all my rhymes are operating in a form exclusively fresh in the name of KBorn. This is a demonstration and also my creation. The classical too was in his own generation, rap's new generation.
Fantastic. That's exactly
Wonderful.
what I want. I believe our viewers must have got this. A creative, talented person is always a creative, talented person. There is no way you can eliminate that from him. Anywhere you capture him, you will definitely get himself out of the way. He has won the heart of myself, and I'm sure even my viewers must have enjoyed the lyrics. Thank you so much, KBorn. We still have just 2 minutes to round up. If you have any question, Dustin, please just ask him so that we can round up.
Well, do you have any messages for anybody out there that wants to start their own thing, whether it's in hip hop culture or just something completely original or whatever they're doing in their own zone?
You know, this is what I want to tell this to everybody, and this is important for everybody to do. You know, first of all, you know, we got it was 1 out of 5, but we got 1 out of 4 people right now dealing with some type of mental health illness. It's important for everybody to go out and take some type of first aid class on mental health awareness for adolescents and for adults. You know, because we got to break that stigma where people think that automatically when you say somebody got a mental health issue or mental health problems or they mentally challenged, like I would rather say, that people automatically say they crazy. You know, if somebody eat too much or eat too little, they have a mental health problem. They're not crazy. If somebody like to start fires, they're a pyromaniac. That has nothing to do with being crazy. You know, if they steal too much, they're a kleptomaniac.
Thank you so much, KBorn. I guess because of the time, we may not have. You have got a lot. Well, I like the flow. We
really enjoyed
your time with us. Peace. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate y'all, man.
I really appreciate.
And what you edited and send it off, send it to me so I can share it too.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I think we ran it up with peace. Yeah.